but I really missed having like coworkers to bounce ideas off of and that sort of relationship that you get with people that you don't necessarily get with like your, traditional friends or family members.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to Highlight Her. I'm Jenny, and in each episode, I sit down with women entrepreneurs to talk about their stories, the inspiration behind what they're building, and the next steps in their journey. Consider yourself sitting in the third chair at our virtual table. Today, Emily joins us. She is behind the Therapy Collective of Michigan. I love her classy black and white building, and I got to meet her at an event at the beginning of February. I'm excited to learn more about her journey and see how she has created this practice, gotten to multiple locations, and even gone beyond with a new launch that she's starting soon. Hi, Emily. Thank you for joining us
Hello.
today.
Thank you for having me.
I'm really excited to get to know you a little better. Before we dive into your business journey, I'd love to start with, is there a moment in your business recently where you thought, this is why I do this?
Pretty regularly in general. I think there's two caveats to that, right? Because I not only am I a business owner, but I'm also a therapist. So I have those like moments on a regular basis with my clients. Anytime one of them leaves a session or like they have a big win, to me, it's a big win. To them, it might be nothing. But when I start to see them demonstrate insight, I'm always like, oh, there it is. Like you're doing the thing, right? On the business side of it, yeah. I actually had a couple of people reach out to me. I have people reach out to me regularly wanting to work with us. And one of my staff members came up to me the other day and said that she was going to be recommending someone who might be looking to work on our team. And, very informal, no big deal. But it just really, to her, it was probably just a normal conversation trying to help her friend get a job. But to me, it spoke a lot where it was like, okay, this is a culture where people want to be. People like being here, even my current staff, and they are so grateful for it that they're like telling other people, like, yeah, it would be a great place for you to fit in. So it just feels good because I get to really create a positive environment for all the people who choose to work with me.
That makes me so happy. I can imagine it made you feel satisfied and and validated,
Mhm.
I'm thinking. Okay, so you're a little different than some guests we've had on because you have your own private practice as a therapist, but then you've created a group of therapists in the collective that you have. So can you tell us a little bit, just a little bit about the the journey from single I am a therapist to I want to create an office of multiple people helping other people?
It was actually not something that I ever intended to do. It was never in the cards or the plan. I went to grad school and worked at a large sort of for-profit mental health facility when I had first graduated because you have to kind of get a lot of experience under what we call a limited license. And that was a great place for me to do it. I got so much experience, but I knew that I didn't want to stay in that setting. I really kind of envisioned myself in a cozy little office with a couch. And I sort of thought that that was going to just be a one woman show. And that was the plan. And so that's what I did when I was able to. I left. That was in 2021. I started on this journey of like, how do I create this cozy office for one? I did it and I was very successful with it. I had a full caseload of clients. And honestly, it had nothing to do with like wanting to earn more money. I mean, that was obviously a part of it, right? Because the idea of earning passive income is very appealing. But there were actually two things. One, I was actually bored just seeing clients all day. I really like some of the business administrative stuff because I have a background in corporate banking and I enjoy that work. Um, but honestly, the reason that I expanded was because I was lonely. I wanted
Aw.
coworkers. Yeah, that really is what it was. I call myself an extroverted introvert. I love being around people. I like my quiet time as well. But I really missed having like coworkers to bounce ideas off of and that sort of relationship that you get with people that you don't necessarily get with like your, traditional friends or family members. And so I hired my first girl, and from there, it kind of spiraled in, like, the best way possible. As I started to grow, it really dawned on me that I had an opportunity to create a culture that I was kind of the master creator of, so to speak. But the culture that I really wanted was something that I didn't necessarily know existed anywhere else in our community. And that was really one of like full autonomy. You make your own schedule, you work your own hours, you work with the clients you want, but you still have this supportive team in the background for everything else that also like enjoys spending time together. And I decided I was going to create it.
That is beautiful. And also, that takes trust on your part to let them create their own schedule. You're trusting that they're going to create a schedule and be there enough to have clients that are supporting the practice.
Yep, we went through a transition recently on the business end of things where initially they had 100% complete control over everything. They were just contractual, but I've recently gone through the process to make them true employees,
Mm.
which there's a benefit to them and to me. To me, I get to kind of be a little more hands-on, which I enjoy, but I still told them I'm not going to dictate when you work or how often you work or what days or what hours you work. That's not my job. They do have to commit to like working a certain number of clinical hours a week. But they get to choose, right? It's like they can choose like a low level, a medium level, or a high level, and it just depends. And so we've really built in a lot of structure that continues to support that autonomy, and they get to make the best decision for what they need for themselves.
How many people do you have on your team?
I think the last I checked, because I always forget, I think including myself, there are 12 clinicians. And I have two admins. So I have a biller and then I have kind of an admin slash assistant to me, but she's also our intake coordinator.
Wow. And is that spread across your 3 locations?
So primarily, most of us are based out of the Southgate location, which
Okay.
is our big, like that's the main facility. We have what I call a satellite location out in the Grand Rapids area. Because when I was first starting, I had a girl reach out to me on Facebook, like looking to possibly interview for a job, and she started as fully virtual with me. And then over time realized that she would prefer to work with clients in person. So we kind of did the work to get her an office out there and kind of expand our footprint out there. And she is actually our clinical director because I've worked with her so well. I actually promoted her this past fall to like clinical director. She really helps me do a lot of the stuff that I no longer have the time to do. And she's absolutely amazing. So I was like, whatever you want, whatever you need, we're going to make it happen because she's a really important part of the team. So she's kind of solo out there. And then I was really blessed with this opportunity. We have a location on Groseal with the, so the owners of Westcroft Gardens and Farms. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that place.
I'm not.
Randomly, and it's this beautiful outdoor garden space. Oddly enough, it's actually where I had my wedding photos taken. Um, but the owners are a younger couple, and the wife is actually a therapist. And she reached out to me and said, "Hey, I would love to work with you. And also, I have these gardens and farms, and like, let's use them and like let's collaborate and make this kind of a special opportunity." So we started working together last fall because it's mostly an outdoor space. With the winter, we haven't had a chance to really do much, but we're really hoping to try to start doing some stuff there this summer. But she operates and sees clients out of her office there.
Wow, that's so cool. Are you thinking like
Yeah.
group events out there?
Yeah, we've kind of tossed ideas around of like group events, group therapy, the ideas of possibility doing some like walk and talk therapy or workshops or there's a lot of opportunity. We have to really dive in. And so we're hoping to get a chance to explore some of that this spring and summer.
Ooh, I'm excited to watch that process.
Yeah, I don't know what it'll be, but we're both busy people because she obviously runs the farm as well and she has another job. So we've kind of said we're going to just continue our relationship together when the right time presents itself is when we will really explore more with that. But the opportunity is there and the seed has been planted. So we're excited about it.
Fantastic. So, did you say that you started your private practice in 2021?
So I left the group or the corporation that I was with, like the company, I guess you could call it, at the end of 2021, and I briefly joined another group practice downriver where I was able to kind of learn a little bit more about the outpatient world. but kind of in the background. And it wasn't with the intention of like leaving that group practice, honestly. I was just creating this other thing and playing with ideas of like, what can I do in the community and how can I run groups and things like that. And it was also around this time that I discovered that I have a diagnosis of ADHD that I did not know up until that point, and that started to really explain why I can't sit still.
Hmm.
When I like finish something and accomplish a goal, I'm like, okay, this is great, but what now can I do? And that's kind of what happened. I was working at a group, but I was like building this thing on the side. And I stayed there just under a year before I fully left there because I was also building my own clientele of my own clients in the background at my practice. So I was working at two for a while. And then I finally left and went fully solo and completely independently employed. I think it was in June of 2022.
And then when did you open the collective?
I didn't hire my first girl until I think it was 2022. So I
Wow.
hired her. Yeah, it was pretty quick because again, ADHD, I can't sit still. But it was a lot of that loneliness. But the other thing was I had a full caseload and I had clients that were referring people to me and my name has gotten out in the community. And I was like turning people away because I didn't have the capacity and space on my schedule to help them. And so I was like, okay, well, what can I do to bring someone else in to also be able to help these people? And that's kind of when it really started to form.
I really like that your practice grew because people were referring you and that it was
Yeah.
growing organically. I think that's fantastic. Was it
That was
hard
a
to
huge, oh, that I was gonna say that was a
It's
huge
okay, go
growth
ahead.
for us. We actually moved out of I like would rent a space and I would lease an office. And before my lease was even up, I was like calling the rental company that I was leasing from at the time because I was in an office of suites and saying, I need to move to a bigger space. I need to move to a bigger space before my leases were even up. And I did that every single time up until we moved into our most recent building. Like
Wow.
I was breaking leases early basically because from a financial standpoint it was better for me to do that because we were growing so rapidly because there's a huge need for mental health in the Downriver area. We're kind of a desert in terms of it. If you go to Oakland County, they're very saturated, but down here there's not a lot. And so once people started hearing about us, they were like, "Oh gosh, we want to go there," which warms my heart because also that's a
Right.
testament to the other clinicians that are working with me.
So for our listeners that aren't in the Downriver area, we're talking about about 20 minutes southwest of Detroit. So that's the area that Emily is referring to. And we're in the Midwest for our global listeners. And that's curious to me that you say that we're a desert in this area as far as mental health services are concerned. Is there a specialty that you think the therapy collective does really well that makes you stand out from other practices?
Yes and no. Yes, in that I really think at this point, um, we have a really great team that can treat a wide variety of mental health issues. So if you have an adult male that's like dealing with something, but then his wife also needs to be seen, we can find a clinician that would be a good fit for her. We also have someone that works with kids. We have a couples and family therapist. So we really try to be, we market as a holistic practice, holistic being both
Mm.
mind and body, but also community. And also for our practice, we get to wrap around the family. We want to help the whole family because that's kind of our definition of holistic treatment. The clinicians themselves, we all specialize in different types of therapy. So that's where I said, no, we as a practice don't have one specific thing, but the clinicians themselves have specialties.
I like the idea of a holistic approach. I can see that being very helpful to families.
Yeah, that was really important to me. And when we moved into our Southgate location, I think there's 9 therapy rooms in the back, and then we have our lobby and like reception area, and then we have a group therapy room. I actually took one of those 9 offices, and instead of putting a therapist in there where I could have made lots of money off of a therapist, I said, nope, I don't want that. And I brought in a local downriver, she's a naturopath and a holistic health practitioner. So she is renting that space from me and she runs her business out of that office. because I think it really encompasses the idea of holistic health, especially for those clients who may not necessarily want to go down the route of like traditional modern medicine if they need help for anxiety, depression, whatever. They might be able to go see her to take a more natural approach.
I bet that sets you apart.
Yeah. She's again, she's her own business and she's amazing, but she brings such an energy to the space and I just love having her there as a resource. So it's pretty cool. It was something that I wanted for years. And I said, when we moved in, I called her. I said, okay, you know, how can we make this happen? And she was like, I'm ready, let's go. So it was perfect timing. The universe really aligned for both of us.
Oh, that's fabulous. Is there anything that has been more challenging for you in setting up your new location and working together as a team or finding therapists? Anything that's been more challenging than you expected?
I think for me personally, I have really struggled. I'm getting much better about it. I really struggled with delegating, which is
Mm.
something that I've had to do to grow, but also kind of like, not to say that I don't trust the people that are working with me because I do, but it was a difficult transition for me to hand off roles and tasks that I had been doing because, I know they're getting done correctly and I know how to do them and all of the things. And so to really put my trust in another human to make sure that they're going to do them to the standard that I would, which is also kind of the business reputation and everything that I've worked really hard to create. That was a challenge for me to be able to say, okay, nope, I have to do this in order to grow. Also, I was getting burnt out doing some of those tasks and I didn't want to be doing them. So it kind of was like, I have to do this, but it's hard for me to do it. But once I finally did, it was like, "Mm, okay, now I can focus on other things that I want to spend my time on."
I can understand that challenge. I actually have the same
Yep.
the same challenge, so I get that. And I
Yep.
imagine it's a lot of business founders feel that way because that's your baby.
Yes.
That's like you said, it's your reputation on the line.
Yeah, and my husband and I had made the decision while I was in this process to not have children together. He has adult children, but I kind of was like, you know what? I don't think I want to have children of my own. And so I was really able to devote a lot of my energy and time to building this because I wasn't raising a child or, being pulled in a million different directions like so many other women do. So I do think that from a business perspective, that was something that was helpful for me. But it really was like this business became like my baby.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Was there ever a time that you thought maybe the collective wasn't for you and it wasn't going to happen, or was it sounds like it really was organic and going to happen?
Yeah, I would say no, because so I identify as a very spiritual individual. And I really believe in like the power of manifestation and like the universe providing exactly what you need at exactly the right time as long as you're open to it. And I really make decisions. Maybe this isn't a good business choice, but it's been the way that I've lived my life for up until this point. I really follow my gut and my intuition because so far it's never steered me wrong. And so a lot of the things that happened in terms of our growth, I believe were like the universe putting the right people in the right places right in front of me at exactly the right time when I needed them. And because of that, it just, I don't know, some people like, yes, it's hard, right? Like it's not easy. It's not a walk in the park. There's a lot of things you have to teach yourself, and your brain never like fully stops thinking about it. But I also think it's been relatively easy because I've had all of these just gifts and blessings just presented to me, which again, I that's more spiritual for me, but or maybe it's just the way I see it. Like, oh, I guess I needed this and I like make it work. I don't know, but maybe I'm actually delusional. But, no, I don't think that there's really been any issues where I was like, this is not for me. I have some colleagues and friends that are also group practice owners that have multiple locations and they have 20 and 30 clinicians that work for them. That I know is not going to be for me. I have been very intentional about who I will offer positions to work with us. And making sure that the space still feels good. And I want to make sure that our culture is maintained. And for me, if there were 20 or 30 clinicians working for our practice at that point, I think I would become just a business owner and not also get to be a therapist. And I won't give that up because being a therapist is the reason I'm here in the first place. And it's very, very important to me. I love that work. So
Sounds like you've set a professional boundary for yourself.
yes, absolutely. Somebody said the other day, like, you're going to outgrow this beautiful building. I said, no, we're not, because we're done at this building. Like, I'm not opening another location. So that's not my goal. If it's a satellite location or something, maybe, but like another full building filled with clinicians, I have no interest in that.
So that makes me think of your new venture as a consultant. Is that kind of filling a way of expanding without you expanding your own practice? Like you're not
Um,
expanding the building where you are, but you're getting to affect or have a touch on all these other places.
Yeah, that's a really great way of looking at it. I actually hadn't thought of it that way, but yes. Um, A lot of it really is I never thought that being a business owner and being self-employed was something that was for me, right? It was sort of this like everybody else gets to do these things, but it was never something that I could do. A lot of self-limiting beliefs. And once I kind of disproved myself that like, no, I can do this, it really kind of opened my eyes to like, well, if I can do this, so can anybody else. I didn't know where to look when I was trying to start my practice. I was just trying to piecemeal everything together and asking colleagues and friends who had done it for help. And that's been super helpful. And I'm so grateful because I couldn't have done it without sort of their guidance. But I wanna also be able to kind of put myself out there to say to other clinicians, "Hey, if this is something that you want, it is actually attainable, and you can do this, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't." Because when we're in grad school, I think a lot of the messaging that we receive is like, "Oh, you're gonna work for someone else, your income is gonna be limited, you can
Mm.
only" you have to trade client hours for dollars, and, like, to some degree, yes, but also you can work for yourself. You can set that precedent. You can create something that works really well for you. And so I really think it's going to give me a way to help other therapists and clinicians really empower them to say, do it. If you want to do it, let's do it. I don't view other therapists and other practice as competition. I think that's something that's kind of unique in our industry because I'm very much community over competition in all things, but definitely in the mental health field. Like, there are more than enough mentally ill people for all of us to help. There's actually not enough of us and more of them. So,
Mhm.
like, my goal is to make sure that we just help people at the end of the day.
So tell the listeners about what you just launched with your consulting services.
It's a brand new launch. I'm, I always say as a business owner, I'm building the plane while I'm flying it. And that's exactly what's happening with this as well. But I just launched a new business called Orlux Consulting. And it is for coaching and consulting for therapists who do want to go into private practice. I'm hoping down the line I can include scaling, helping private practice owners scale if they want to hire people. Um, I'm hoping to start a podcast of my own to kind of just talk about the business nuances and what the struggles are, what the things are, and also as an additional side project to that, I'm also trying to create a community like support group for business owners in our local area across all industries that isn't just networking because I can't tell you how many times I've gone to networking events and it feels very like, here's my business card. You feel like you have to make a sale. And that's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a place where I can find connection with other business owners and so I'm also launching, I'm hoping they're going to be quarterly, these events that I'm calling Uncorked and Unfiltered. They're going to be held at a local wine bar in our Downriver community. And your ticket gets you a free cocktail and then like 2 hours of semi guided connection. It's not therapy, it's not a support group, it is separate from that. But just for business owners of all shapes and sizes to come together to say, yeah, this is what it's like owning a business because a lot of times people who don't own businesses don't get it and that's no slight to people who don't own a business, but sometimes we do just need that encouragement and that support to be like, "Oh gosh, I get that thing," or "Oh yeah, I know I have that problem too." Just feels good. So,
That is brilliant. You are absolutely right about networking events, and I can't wait to see what happens with your Uncorked and Unfiltered.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I've already sold a handful of tickets. I've got it open for like a certain number to be sold, and I don't know if we're gonna meet that or not. But I also am trying to kind of intentionally keep it not huge, but not, not just five people.
Mhm.
Um, because I don't know who's gonna show up. I don't. Some of the people that have signed up are friends of mine, so I think that's cool because they're supporting me. But also, there are people that have signed up that I don't have a clue who they are. And I'm like, okay, cool. So it's getting out there. And like, this is exciting. And I'm hoping that it's really going to be the connection that I'm hoping that it will be.
That makes me so happy for you and excited to see
Yeah.
what comes down the road. I
Thank
like
you.
the idea of quarterly.
Yeah, I'm excited, right? Nobody has time for a once a month thing. We all are busy and have
Mhm.
lives, and people have kids and grandkids and whatever, life throws at them. But I think once a quarter, it can just feel good to be like, let me take 2 hours out to just connect with people who like get it. Because you leave feeling so
Mhm.
fulfilled. And that's one of the things, I love group settings and connection. And I think, the most healing thing in the world for anybody, right? This is the therapist in me coming out. But the most healing thing in the world is connection, and in order to have human connection, we have to create a space where it can happen. And so that's something that I'm hopeful for.
I'm just gonna throw this out there. I can see an Uncorked and Unfiltered at the Gardens and Farms.
We've talked about it. It's been something that
Did
has
you?
like popped up in my mind. Yep. Because I know a lot of other business owners, and I'm like, ooh, who else could I pull into this? And how can we make this like some kind of a cool collab? So we're starting small, just at a local wine bar because like I didn't know who was going to come, but we'll see.
I
So
like
yeah,
it.
yeah.
All right, so we are going to move into a little bit of a fun lightning round and ask a few questions, and you just pop off your answer that comes to your head. Coffee, tea, or hot chocolate?
Probably coffee. Let's be real. I can't survive without caffeine. I
Okay.
do love a good
Early
glass of
bird,
cup of hot chocolate, though.
early bird or night owl?
Oh, I'm an early bird.
Is
100%.
there one tool or app you couldn't run your business without?
We have an electronic health record system that houses 99% of everything that we do, so probably that one.
Is it like a company that other professionals might be
Mhm.
able to use? What is the
Yeah,
name of the company?
it's a company that other therapists use. It's pretty commonly known. It's called Simple Practice. Yeah, it's really great
Nice.
because it gives our clients a portal to log into and so that they have access to it. It's really wonderful.
It sounds wonderful. What is a favorite way to unwind after a busy workday?
I do enjoy a good glass of wine, and when I really need to shut my brain off and shut my phone down, I will like leave my phone somewhere else in my house and I will watch trash TV. I will watch trashy reality TV, something that I can like watch without having to think and shut my brain off.
Who is a businesswoman that you'd like to highlight?
It's hard. So I know you've asked me this question, and I have so many that I would love to like mention, but I think the first one that comes to mind is her name is Hannah Mills. She owns the mill she's got a location in downtown or somewhere in Wyandotte. It's not downtown technically, but she has a location in Wyandotte and she has one in New Boston. She's a physical therapist that has also created a very intentional fitness space.
Mm,
Um, where she does just group fitness classes and just she's amazing. She's incredible. Her
I love
services are
it.
wonderful. Yeah.
All right. Hannah, we're cheering for you. All right, audience, back in the very first episode, I suggested that you start a notebook for all the ideas that you'll collect from our guests. It's time to get it out. I don't know if you can believe it, but we've reached the end of our episode. So, Emily, if someone wanted to start something similar, either a, a practice of some kind or something with a physical location, what is one piece of advice that you'd give to them?
Don't doubt yourself, right? If you really want to do something and you have it in your mind, do it. And if you have all of this like self-doubt in the way and these self-limiting beliefs that are telling you, "Oh, I can't," or if other people in your life are telling you you can't, first of all, get rid of them. But second of all, like do some really deep self-work to figure out what it is that's standing in your own way. Because I think most of the time we tend to be the people that stand in our way, not others. And we just think it's other things, but a lot of it is us. So don't doubt yourself. You can do it.
Like that. If you were inspired by Emily and want to follow her and watch her with her practice and Oralux and Uncorked and Unfiltered, you can find her on Instagram at the Therapy Collective MI and underscore. So the Therapy Collective Michigan underscore. And she has a website, therapycollectivemi.com. And she also has one, Auralux, AURALUX consulting.com. Go ahead and watch her on social media and cheer her on and come to some of her events. You're going to be encouraged, I'm sure. You can also see her practice in Southgate. I'll be sure to put all of that in the show notes so you can find her. Thanks for listening to the Highlight Her podcast. Emily, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. This was lovely.
If this episode encouraged or inspired you, be sure to follow the podcast so you don't miss the next guest. After all, you never know if her story will inspire your next step.